Afternoon, folks. Chief Meteorologist Nick Lilia here with a look at your tropical update brought to you by Pine Belt Gutters. We've got nothing really doing out there anymore. We had Andrea, which rolled through a little bit earlier, but for May 24th, 2019, let's take a peek at what we've got going on in the tropics. First things first, just in case you missed it yesterday, the NOAA forecast for the season, 9 to 15 storms, 4 to 8 of those hurricanes, 2 to 4. As major hurricanes, about an average season, averages 12, 6, and 3. I will say this, it doesn't really matter. Even if all we get is 2 named storms, we already had the one, even if all we get is 2 named storms on the year, and that other 1 named storm comes knocking on our doorstep and it happens to be a major hurricane and that's all we get on the year, and that's an active year for us. So we always ask folks to prepare all the same. Make sure you got food and water to last you for at least 3 to 7 days. I usually have water around that'll last me for a week or a week and a half. Make sure you got all your toiletries and prescriptions and medicines and everything. Now is the time to do it before, you know, something's actually knocking on our doorstep. Then you don't have to, you know, head out into the stores with everybody else. But like I said, Andrea was already on the list. That's done. Next one up is Barry. Is Barry out there? No, not. Thank goodness. So right now we look into the Gulf of Mexico, down toward the Caribbean, and just off the east coast of the United States for development. We kind of have a little bullseye in the elbow of Florida there. The idea is as we continue to get fronts that try and sneak through the area, sometimes off the back edge, stuff can kind of fall apart. But right now we've got a pretty stout ridge over the southeast. And really nothing doing in the Gulf of Mexico. A lot of dry air in the mid-levels of the atmosphere and plenty of sunshine and not many clouds. So we actually have to travel down off to the south toward the Central American gyre that you see spinning up down here. That's where all the convection is. But all the convection isn't necessarily heading our direction. You can see that there's a fair amount of shear associated with this out here, and all the clouds are moving kind of from west to east out here. Which in the tropics, where we've got westerlies generally, anything where you see all the clouds moving from west to east, that's going to tear apart anything that would develop across the intertropical. Come on, slide off to the south with me. Slide off, there you go. Anything that could develop in the intertropical convergence zone, you see stuff down there off to the south of the Cape Verde Islands. And the reason, by the way, that all of this convection is further south than it normally would be a little bit later in the year is we haven't had a chance to really warm the northern hemisphere up as the Earth continues to tilt its axis back toward the sun. Let's take a look at the 500 millibar map, though, as we head through the next couple of days. There's your big ridge of high pressure over the southeastern United States. That's acting as a really good fullback. It's blocking anything to the south and anything back off to the east from moving our direction. And it's going to be with us as we head through the next couple of days. Here we are into Tuesday. It starts to kind of fall apart as we head through Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of next week before it starts to kind of reestablish itself as we head through Friday and Saturday. However, it starts to reestablish itself just off to the south of us, which is actually better for us in terms of keeping tropical activity at bay. Because if it's down to the south and into the Gulf of Mexico, it steers everything into Latin America and Central America, and again, away from us. Is there anything out there? Well, for that, we've got to go over to our 700 millibar 850 vorticity map. And you remember this map, anywhere you see the grayed out areas of the browns in here, that means generally it's unfavorable for development. We got too much dry air in the mid-levels. And then in the areas where you see the blue coloring, the green coloring, as well as you look up back in behind the banner here, the yellows, the oranges, and the reds, that's where you've got low-level area of rotation. As you get into the yellows, oranges, and reds, it becomes much more defined and better organized. Well, what do we have as we head through the next couple of days? Well, into the Gulf of Mexico, nothing doing. Good news. Down into the Caribbean, we still have that Central American gyre down here, but generally speaking, really not much. Into Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it starts to maybe try and get a little better organized down here into Thursday and Friday, but see how all of this is over land. To get tropical systems, you need all of that to be over the water, and it just simply isn't. With it being over the land, really not much for us to worry about. Notice as we take this thing all the way out through June 3rd, all of that is still over land, and thankfully not over water. So again, there's your tropical update brought to you by the good folks at Pine Belt Gutters for May 24th of 2019.